Well, that was lucky. If not for that little warning, I reckon good old Cesperin would have caught me pretty good. I can't believe the bastard's still alive, to be honest. I was pretty sure when I scuppered his boat that no one would get out alive. I guess he was a good swimmer. Ah, can't he let bygones be bygones? All I did was steal his gold and sink his boat. Now that's not that bad, is it? What can I say? I was tiring of the pirate life and wanted a nice little starter fund for my new life as a landlubber. Gotta hand it to him though, tracking me down under my new name can't have been easy. Still, I can't say I'm happy about having to go and owe Shiverstick a favour. That one's got plans that probably are going to cause a little stir in the guild. I like things easy, got no interest in being involved in power grabs. I wonder what this Larissa's angle is in all this though. I mean, is she really interested in helping out the Flamed Fist dealing with the little cult problem? She's just a pawn? Or is she up to something else? Maybe I'll find out. If her and her little friends make it out of that bathhouse in one piece. One thing's for certain, next few nights I'm not going to be quiet. This is Red Moon Roleplaying. The fog becomes even thicker as the night continues in the city of Baldur's Gate. You find yourselves in an interesting situation. Certainly anyone observing you would be quite confused. The three of you are currently in an alleyway just a little off from that bathhouse. Larissa, you are holding your short swords towards this large man, a man with a burned face, currently clutching his side at a quite nasty looking wound inflicted on him. Well, you don't know by whom. Meanwhile, Royce and Lofar, you've taken the time to carry out the two individuals you found in the bathhouse. One, this young noble man. His clothing shows that he has a good tailor, but it's been quite badly dirtied and attacked, and he was moments ago being brutally tortured. Thanks to your healing skill, Lofar, his wounds are no longer bleeding, but he's still not really with it and is currently unconscious. The other individual is one of the cultists. You have, of course, removed the intimidating helmet he was wearing earlier, revealing a bold man with a face clearly showing signs of conflict. There are many scars. His nose is broken. You're pretty sure, Royce, that you, between Lofar and yourself, broke several of his ribs, and the sword wound in his back really should have killed him. Yet, somehow he still seems to be alive, just barely, and is now currently bound and gagged due to Lofar's actions. These two individuals are unconscious, and you've slumped them against an alleyway. But of course, the man with the scars is very much awake. What do, you three?
So Larissa's still got her short swords, up towards his chest and neck. And now we're in this alleyway. She'll kind of look past him to her two companions and look back and say, well, there's three of us and one of you. We spared your life because you said you'd tell us what you knew and what was going on, and I quite like to know why you were running out of there. But if you'd rather go back on that offer, I'm sure between the three of us we can sort that out.
The man scowls a little. He winces as he clutches his wounded side. He sort of eyes you all up. Again, despite the wound, he is still quite imposing. He's taller than any of you. Very well built. Very muscled. Alright. First of all, you're not Flaming Fist. You don't look it. Are you?
Does it matter if we are?
Possibly.
You don't look like a very good cultist, but here we are. And I'll show the badge.
What do you want to know?
Everything. Let's start with who you are.
Why is who I am important?
I don't know if it is yet. That's why you should probably tell us.
He pauses, sort of taking a moment to mouth something to himself, and then remarks, "My name's Mortlock."
Alright, Mortlock. What cult are you? And, like, how long have you... Why are you in Baldur's Gate now? Why are you popping up here?
He raises an eyebrow and says, "I'm not in a bloody cult. Do I look like one of them?"
Why were you found in a cult house?
Every time you ask him a question, he's pausing. Would anyone like to roll an insight check?
17?
20.
What did you get, Royce?
18.
Well, all of you are able to see he's really thinking very hard about everything he says to you. He's obviously not very good at coming up with falsehoods on the go, so he's really trying to sort of give information, but give it very carefully. It's not that he's stupid, but he's obviously being very, very careful what he says. Lothar, with your role, however, you do just recall one little thing. You remember the second you saw him emerging from the darkness down below, clutching his side. Didn't he say something about someone called Amric? He said something like, "Amric sent you," or "You're here to finish off what Amric wanted to do." You just kind of remember that little thing as you're watching.
Who is Amric?
Amric. And you see his mood change a little. He's getting a little more angry. Well, Amric's the bloody one who tried to kill me, isn't he? I thought you were there on his bidding.
We were not. But who is he? Why was he trying to kill you?
He's my brother. He's trying to kill me because he's wanted me dead since I was born.
There's got to be a reason for it.
He starts pacing a little.
Larissa, if he does that kind of pausing thing again, she'll kind of reach round and where he's got that wound in the side, just with her tail poke at it and go, "That looks like it hurts."
Ah! It does hurt. What you're doing? Amric's my brother. He's wanted me dead because if I'm dead, then I'm no longer a problem in his life. First well as well. Both want me dead. Sons of bastards.
Tending to agree with Amric. I mean, if you're going to keep pausing, maybe we just take him to Zuj and the gallows. I mean, who's going to believe he's not a cultist if we say he's a cultist? Just trying to intimidate him into telling us more readily.
Roll me an intimidation check.
Gladly.
Can Larissa aid in this at all by, she's got the spell thaumaturgy, by changing the colour of her eyes to this kind of slowly fiery red, as it makes to make her look like she's losing her patience along with everybody else here?
Yes, you can. Royce, roll with advantage.
I got a 19, 17 plus 2.
He looks a bit agitated. You don't think he's intimidated, funnily enough, by the idea of the flaming fist so much, but more your general tone and Larissa's glowing eyes. He definitely is concerned about his life. Look, at least ask something specific. You're asking me a load of general questions. Just what do you actually want to know?
We want to know what you were doing down in that bathhouse, because I'm not she'll turn to Lothar and Royce and be like, if his brother wants him dead, he might pay a very good price, unless he can give us a reason not to hand him over, right?
Right.
I nod.
Give you a good price? He's the one bloody paying them. I carry the money. He's the one who organises the money. He won't be happy you've killed them.
Oh, we were talking about handing you over. If he's paying to have you killed, then why not cash in ourselves, unless there's something you can offer us that's important to what we're looking for, and then perhaps we never saw you.
He's thinking.
She smiles really sweetly at him.
I don't really know what you want. Your flaming fist, right? You work for them. They're gonna be happy you took care of a little cult for them. They're not gonna want to do anything else.
Well, it would be good to know why is this happening now. That was a question that we had before. Why are these murders happening right now? What is the significance, and what does this have to do with El Turel disappearing?
I don't know what it's got to do with El Turel. Oh, I would say, why is it happening now? Because Amric wants it to. Good for business.
The murders are good for business. How so?
Because the Flaming Fist can't deal with it, and therefore people are going to lose faith in them, and that will make things easier for what... He pauses. For what Amric wants to happen next.
Is Amric involved in some kind of power game in the city? Is that what this is about?
Yes, he is. Mortlock nods. You really want him, you know. You want to do all this question asking. He's the one who knows. He's the one who knows everything more than me.
Where is he then, so we can ask these questions?
Well, tonight he'll still be at the Low Lantern. That's where he runs his business. He'll probably still be there. It's a bit late now, though. I should warn you, though. He points towards the alleyway. He might know you're coming already. You'll have been seen already by First World's little imp bastards.
I see. The Low Lantern then, Amric. And then we might have some answers, and that might be beneficial. But what say you, Royce and Larissa? Shall we bring this man in and cash in on our reward?
With the Flaming Fist or with his brother?
Well, maybe we could start with the Flaming Fist, or that seems like the honorable thing to do. That's who we have agreed to work for, right?
I suppose.
Outside of the honourable thing to do, we could do getting that asshole Zuj off our back.
That's true.
The Flaming Fist are everywhere. We cannot escape them in this town. So let us go, and let's bring this nobleman with us as well.
Yes, find out who he is.
Wait. You're gonna take me into the bloody Flaming Fist?
Yeah, that's why we arrested you in the first place. I mean, you probably know more than what you have given us already, so I figured it's just as well that they find out the rest.
We said we'd save your life. We didn't say we'd set you free.
Oh. I mean, come on, you were involved with a death cult. What did you think would happen?
It's not gonna go the way you think.
It never does. It's okay. We will try this now, and then let's see how it goes. I mean, we have a bunch of swords directed towards you, so, I mean, this can all end very quickly if you attempt anything, so I wouldn't worry. Let's just go.
As you start to lead him away, he does mutter, or you could let me go, and then no one's gonna know what's happening. You take me in, I can assure you people are gonna know I've been arrested, and they're probably gonna think I'm talking.
Didn't you just say that little imp bastard had already seen all this? I think that news has already been broken, no?
He looks around, remarks, I don't think they hear any more. First Well will know you've gone by the bathhouse and something's gone down. They won't know what's happened to me necessarily. He wanted to be dead as well, they both did. I can definitely tell they both did, they would have. But First Will wouldn't have acted on his own. Definitely Amric.
Can we somehow read him a little bit? Is he... I mean, he's obviously not a skilled liar. Is this something that he truly believes in, or is this just him trying to save his own skin?
Roll an insight check.
I rolled a 1.
I rolled 8.
I rolled 20.
Larissa and Lofar, you know, this man is hard to read. Maybe it's because half his face is burnt. Hard to read facial expressions. But, Royce, you know the words of men, of battle, thugs. He's definitely trying to save his own skin, but he is telling the truth. He does believe at least what he's saying, that he thinks you taking him in might actually make things more difficult for the three of you. But why would it? That's the question.
So, if we let you go, Mortlock, what... I mean, I see all upside for you. You're not in the Flaming Fist. You're not getting beaten by the guards to tell them the same stuff you're not telling us. What else can you offer us other than people won't know?
Well, for starters, the guards aren't going to beat me. And he pauses, and then he says, fuck it. I'm a patriarch.
A patro what? We're not from around here.
I'm a patriarch. The high city. Or noble.
I see. Wow. That certainly changes things a bit.
Exactly. They'll take me in. When they find out who I am, they'll probably take me to the Watch's custody.
Lothar, do patriarchs come to the lower city? Because Royce, or me not being from the area, wouldn't be fully familiar with the class structure, I assume.
Yes, you'd know. Of course they do. It's not wise for them to come by themselves. When they do normally come, it's normally accompanied by several guardsmen. But they can conduct business in the lower city. Sometimes that's very important. But most of the time, they are obviously in their manners in the high city.
Yes, they do come down at times, so it does make sense. It is a big risk that you have taken, though.
Look, here's the thing, right? If you go after Amric now, right now, he might not know yet. Like, Firstwell will know, but he'll probably be wondering what's going on. He might be keeping it to himself. Firstwell doesn't like Amric either. If you go now, and you let me go, he's going to have no reason to suspect 3 people coming in. He might think it's just normal business dealings. You take me to the Flaming Fist, he's definitely going to find out. Definitely going to assume I'm talking about things, and he might make some plans. He's crafty, Amric. Likes making his plans. That's why Mother likes him best.
What say you? I turn to my companions. What shall we do?
It seems like going after Amric might give us some more information on what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, he's told us all he's going to tell us, and I doubt anyone would tell him too much, because he seems like an idiot, so maybe we're done with him.
At this, you just see like him glowering at you like, I'm not an idiot.
I'm sorry, who's prisoner here?
Yeah, sure thing, Sunshine. You seem like a real genius. Keep talking and we'll see how not an idiot you are.
I was the one keeping these bloody cultists in line. If it hadn't been for me, they'd have been killing even more people.
Doing a bang-up job there, buddy.
Yes. All right. Well, why don't we do that? We know who he is. And, we have what we need. And we can strike at this organization more directly with the information he has given us. So, why don't we do as he proposes? Just let him go.
Just before he goes, does he have any house, like, sigils or insignias or markings on anything he's wearing, or anything I could tear off to say, okay, we're not handing you in, but, you know, we have this, we can talk to Zuj if needed.
You look him over. You do notice he does seem to have some sort of ring. It's not very well decorated, but there is some sort of insignia on it. It's a little bit ruined by time, so you can't really tell, but it does look valuable. It's gold.
So I'm going to grab the wrist that ring is on, kind of just yank it up beside his face and say, okay, buddy, we're going to let you go. But until we find out what's fully happening here, we're going to keep this for safekeeping. You'll get it when we've found out what's up with Amric and this whole cult situation. But for now, you don't talk, you don't tell anyone about us, and we don't tell anyone about Zuj. If you do talk, the Flaming Fist and all of Baldur's Gate will know you're here and why you're here. I yank the ring.
He chuckles a little as you take the ring off his fingers. You three really don't have any bloody idea, do you? If I were you, I'd drop all this. I'd go back to your Flaming Fist. I'd say you dealt with the cult here. And that would have dealt with them, by the way. You'll have dispersed them. They're not idiots. And get your money from the Flaming Fist. And then I'd leave Baldur's Gate as quick as you can. You're messing with people you don't want to mess with. Why do you think I'm leaving? It's not because of the Flaming Fist, I can assure you that.
This city is my home. I will protect it. I am not going to leave. So, why don't you get out of here? And we will deal with this problem that you have caused.
Problem I caused? You think I'm the one running all this? Bloody hell, fools. Whatever. You're letting me go. Fine. I'm getting a boat. I'm not coming back. Amrit can go to hell for all I care. First will as well. And he starts to leave. Do you do anything before he leaves?
What did he say there? Burst bowl? What was that?
First well. He said that name a few times. First well's imps, and then first well can go to hell as well.
Wait. Before you go, this name that you have brought up now, I thought you were saying first well? Who's that? That seems to be someone equally important to your brother.
Well, of course he would be. He's my other brother.
How many brothers do you have?
2. Well, they've both wanted me dead. For years.
Alright. So they're both involved, and it's a real family business you have going here.
You could say that. He sort of pauses again. You do, at this point, Lofar. He's a patriarch, and there's lots of them. Which family, you wonder, is it?
Well, I guess you don't care much what happens to your family then, so you just give us their name so we have it. It would be good to know.
No offence. Just in case you lot all end up dead, I'd rather that I wasn't held culpable. You can do whatever you want to Amrit. First, well, don't care about them, but you can sort the rest yourself. It wasn't me who told you.
So you're not going to tell us? We're letting you go here. Do you really want us to change our minds now?
He looks a bit conflicted, and for the first time you do see there's an element of fear. Finally, it's not been from you or the threats or the flaming fist, but pressing him now on this is making him slightly worried.
Look, you're going to tell us who your family is. You're not going to leave until you have told us that.
Larissa is just playing with one of her short swords. Kind of just smiling. I mean, look, I get it. I came from a messed up family background too, okay? I mean, not siblings, but parents, and they can be awful. But you're leaving here anyway. You said yourself you're getting on a boat. So what does it matter if you tell us? You're going to be long gone from here by morning.
Fine. You three so eager to dig yourselves graves. Fine. What do I care? You're right. Vanthampur. There you go. Happy?
That is quite a family to belong to. That is one of the dukes, is it not?
Yes.
This really goes all the way to the top, doesn't it? I suppose you are right then in running as far away as you can.
You'd all be wise too as well. You meddle too much and you're all going to end up in body bags in the river. Unless, of course, you're hiding an army behind the 3 of you over there.
I'm afraid not. Well, safe travels, friend, I say, and without smiling.
And with that, he eyes all 3 of you, pulls his hood up, and limps away into the darkness of the fog.
Vanthampur, wanting to make the Flaming Fist look bad. This is a power play on the highest level. They're trying to usurp power. I mean, the Grand Duke is gone. If the Flaming Fist looks bad, then Vanthampur can step in. What was her name again now, the Duke from the Vanthampur family?
That would be Duke Fáilbhe Vanthampur.
Was that the one that we'd overheard in the tavern, people saying they didn't want her in power?
Yes.
Yes, this is a power play on the highest level. Duke Talmera Vanthampur can step in and take over with the Grand Duke gone and the Flaming Fist obviously incompetent. She can probably put her own people in charge, and then all of a sudden she's running Baldur's Gate. It all makes sense.
I still wonder how all of this connects to that missing city.
Yeah, I can't quite tell, but there must be some connection, because that is where the Grand Duke disappeared. This must all be related somehow.
The people outside the gate were talking about demons and devils taking the city.
Yes, demons and devils and hell riders. There is more going on here than what we can see. But I think finding this Amrit and first we'll at this low lantern then, and seeing what we can do with that. And that may allow us to dig deeper into this. I think this is beyond what the Flaming Fist can really help us with, and I think we need proper proof before we truly bring it before Zuj. If you are willing to do a little bit more here, then I think we can actually save this city.
I think that's a good idea. Plus, it means we get to hold on to these badges for a while longer.
Yeah, and I might get some more fancy jewellery.
It suits you.
Thanks, I thought so too.
The question is, do we want these two individuals to know that we are the ones that started trouble at the bathhouse? Are we going as interested parties? Or are we going as the messengers of the Flaming Fist that they have to cease their operations?
I think having these badges can only help us. I mean, maybe we go to Zuj, we collect our money and give him this guy. He doesn't need to know anything about... Well, we might tell him about this whole crazy story, but he doesn't need to know we're still working on the case.
And perhaps, if you don't mind me saying, if he does want us to keep working on the case, then there's always more money to be offered.
Indeed. And he does pay up front.
Well, we can't go wandering up to this tavern with these two unconscious men in tow, so...
That would look highly suspicious. So, then we go to the Sea Tower of Baldur, and the intention here is to basically complete this mission that we've been given, and hand over a prisoner and an injured person, and collect our reward, and then go on our merry way.
Very well. You haul up your two guests, as it were, and begin making your way through the streets back to the Sea Tower. On the way, Larissa, you totally notice, at least twice, groups of armed individuals, cloaked in the shadows, watching you. But you know that they're looking at your weapons, and the number of you, and deciding to leave you be tonight. You know that maybe if you were by yourself, that would not be the case. I suppose it's surprising for you, though, Larissa, knowing how many there are. At least 2 or 3 times you see people in these alleyways and streets before you get back to the boats. Really not safe to be on these streets by yourself, it seems. But, again, you are a well-armed group. You are left alone. Finally, as you get to the more busier streets, even though it is late at night, you do finally see Flaming Fist patrols, although there's barely one in the entire time you've been out. They really don't seem to have much street presence at the moment, but that makes sense, you think. They are all probably at the walls, at the gates, making sure people don't get in. You liaise with one group, and one of the guards' women gives you a nod, looks a bit confused at you bringing people in, but you show the badges and are escorted all the way to the Sea Tower. When you arrive, there are a few words given here and there, and Captain Zuj is summoned. All right, Lothar, what you got? 2 guests. I wasn't expecting any guests, Lothar. I hope this isn't going to cause me more trouble.
No trouble. One is a prisoner. I point to the knocked out man. He was part of the cult. You may be able to extract some further information from him, should you like. That I leave to you. The other one was one of their prisoners. He is in rather bad shape and is in need of medical attention. You will be happy to hear, though, that, well, the cultist hideout was, there was an unfortunate fire, and I believe that, they have dispersed, and at least that location is no longer something that should be a concern to you.
Well, I'll be. Good work. Excellent. Who was organising them then?
It appeared, at least there were several people who were in charge, but it wasn't clear who they were taking their orders from. However, there are a number of them there, and let's just say that some probably illegal tunnelling opened up a gas pocket, which is what resulted in the fire.
There's a lot of talk of Ball and Merkel and Bane, you know. I suppose it's just crazy cultists, right?
Too right, Lothar, too right. All right, yes, the bathhouse, interesting. Well, Would have been nice to know where they were getting the finances. I suppose I'll send some boys over to look, but if you've dispersed them, then that's good enough, good enough. Alright, we'll take this one in.
It may be worth knowing that there was a group of individuals wearing some kind of draconic outfitting who were there to take back something that had been stolen from their lady, I think they mentioned. Don't know who they were, but it may be worth knowing if you're sending anybody over there. Seems that they had a grudge with these people as well. It looks like you're not the only ones that they've pissed off in this city.
Does the name Altus mean anything to you?
Otis? No. Probably another crazy cult. Oh, there's so many I lose count some days, am I right? Well, I don't care. Fine. Thank you for the note. Sounds to me, though, like you've actually done your task. Very good. The people of Baldur's Gate are very appreciative of your actions, he says as he grabs a little purse and throws you the additional 100 coin that you were offered. Very well, then. Good work. He puts his hand out. I'll be taking those badges back then. Can't have you wandering around using those all the time.
Of course not. I hand mine over.
It was fun while it lasted. Toss back the badge.
I think Larissa's going to try and keep hers. She'll look at Zuj and say, I caused that tunnel collapse. I barely got out of there. I dropped a number of things on the way out, and that badge was one of them. I'm sure if your men want to pick through and clear the tunnel that was collapsed, you can probably find it, but it hardly seems worth the time.
Roll me a deception check.
16 plus 5, so 21.
He gives you a very long look, and then shrugs. Fine, alright. I suppose it was lost in the wreckage then. I don't really care. Just keep in mind if I hear about anyone falsely claiming to be of the Flaming Fist and they're not, we'll have you back in, Tieflin, and we'll beat you senseless. How's that sound?
You can try.
Oh, a challenge. I like it. Alright then, you lot are all free to go. Oh wait, who's this other person at this point? The younger man sort of seems to have woken up. Yes, Lord Neville, please just, if you take me back to the High City, you'll all be richly rewarded. Richly rewarded, eh? Sounds good. We'll definitely be taking you up on that, Lord Neville.
Well, I think our business here is concluded.
I concur.
Perhaps we will go get a drink in a nice tavern.
Sounds like a plan.
Sounds like an excellent idea. It was good seeing you, Zuj. I wish you the best of luck with, well, taking care of the city. I hope we don't have to run into each other anytime soon.
Well, hopefully not, Lofar. Hopefully not, but you know how things are. As you're having this conversation, Royce, you do look behind you, and you just notice a little thing happening behind you where there do seem to be another bunch of Flaming Fistsmen and women coming in with some other prisoners, you assume. Some people wearing quite interesting armour. It has a sort of emblazoned red sun on it. Not quite sure if you've seen that before. There's one or three of these individuals, and they're all being sort of escorted in by spear point. One of the warriors has a big thick beard, and he's kind of saying loudly, "You fiends! None of you will get away with this! We all know what's going on! We all know what's going on! You can't silence us all! People of Elturel will be avenged!" And the Flaming Fist are like, "Shut up! Keep moving!"
Zuj, are those Rays of Sunshine the guys from the riot at the gate? Who are those guys?
Hell Riders. Can't you recognise them by that silly little red sun symbol they have? Troublemaking. Don't worry, we're going to give them a nice cell to spend the night in.
Well, it is said that they traveled down to hell and they came back up. They survived it, so...
Whoop-de-doo for them. All I know is they're running around the city fermenting trouble, saying, "Oh, it's all Baldur's Gate fault, what happened? Oh, it's all a big conspiracy, all a big scheme." Yeah, right. Do you happen to know a way of vanishing cities into thin air? Lofar? Haha, bet you don't.
I do not know.
Exactly. Seriously, with the refugee crisis, we can't have them going around causing problems, so we're just collecting them all for their own safety and putting them in some cells until all this matter is resolved.
Has Baldur's Gate sent an envoy? Like, what actually happened at El Torel? They're saying demons and devils and crazy stories outside the gates.
I have no idea. Of course we sent an envoy. That was Duke Older. Now he's gone. That shows you how much good that was.
Have you sent anyone looking for the Duke?
Well, where would we look, Tiefling? The smoking crater, from what I hear, is a smoking crater.
Yes, but perhaps sending somebody to investigate the smoking crater might help clear some of this up and maybe ease the problems you're having at the gate. At the moment, it looks like Baldur's Gate isn't willing to give aid. That doesn't do well for people who are hungry and starving outside the walls.
And since when did I care about people who are hungry and starving outside the walls?
Because hungry and starving people become desperate people, and desperate people are dangerous, Zuj.
Exactly. Hence, if they try and get in, we kill them. He's looking at you not like he's stupid, but more like he just has no compassion in him at all. As far as he's concerned, the issue is they will be killed if they try and enter the city. And you know from the walls of Baldur's Gate that it's going to be quite hard-pressed for commoners and peasants, if you will, to breach these walls without help.
Well, I suppose you are the one in charge.
Indeed. Well, as I said, Zuj, good luck, and yes, I hope we don't meet again anytime soon. And I begin moving out.
Larissa will do the same.
I'm going to follow. Just as I'm passing, we're passing down the corridor where the Hellrisers were gone. Can we see if we can hear anything else that's coming as we're passing the door? Like, I'm not going to stop and actively listen, but just if we catch anything else.
Yes, you hear one of them saying, "We know the High Overseer is here. We know you are holding him. We will find him. We will find him." And then the sound of someone being hit very hard in the face with a spear.
Guys, did you hear that? Something about the High Overseer and their crazy... Sounds like some sort of crazy protector of their El Torel.
I mean, I've been active in Baldur's Gate, and El Torel is relatively close by. Is that a title that I'd recognize?
Indeed it is. The High Overseer would be the ruler of El Torel. The Priest of Torm, to be precise.
So the High Overseer is, well, their Grand Duke, essentially, and High Priest of Torm at the same time. Apparently, he's somewhere in the city. That's what they believe, at the very least. And our Grand Duke is over in El Torel. It's all very strange.
Something connects the two. They have to have good reason to believe that Baldur's Gate is involved. Perhaps we go and have a drink and find these two brothers.
Yes.
Yes. All this talk of dukes, there's surely some connection somewhere.
And it won't be until we get outside and kind of clear of lots of the Flaming Fist here that Larissa will turn to the other two and say, "I haven't lost the badge, by the way, but I thought it might be useful in case we get in any sticky situations."
Very resourceful. I'm sure it will come in handy. I say, and I smile.
So, you leave the sea tower once again, the guards keeping an eye on you until you have left, and find yourself once again in the Sea Tower district, known for catering to the Flaming Fist quite extensively. All the taverns, shops, metalsmiths here are pretty much used by Flaming Fist individuals and their cohorts. What do you do?
So what we know now is that Amaric is at the Low Lantern Tavern. He is a member of the Vanthampur family, and that is where there would be some answers. So the least risk would likely be to seek him out first, yes?
Indeed. Though the hour is starting to get a bit late, you feel if you are to do this, you need to do it soon.
Well, then now is as good a time as any, I suppose, to head to a tavern if it is late.
Maybe we can find a room for the night in this Low Lantern Tavern.
Well, we have just been paid, so...
What kind of place is the Low Lantern? Is it, I mean, obviously it's in the lower city, it's not, is it like a very fancy place?
The Low Lantern is a rather disreputable tavern, in a way. Not totally unpleasant. The owner, a woman known as the Captain, is not an unfair individual, but it is known more for its gambling and its low-cost accommodation than its fanciness. The Low Lantern, after all, is a boat, a decommissioned sailing ship, no longer seaworthy, but moored up just by the harbour and converted into a not unpleasant tavern and inn.
Well, I guess we will be going to a boat. That is where the Low Lantern is. So, I begin then leading this group towards the Low Lantern.
An hour passes as the hour grows late. You feel it must be approaching at least midnight, maybe even a little beyond midnight. You are all starting to maybe feel a little tired. As you go through the city, the docks are quite busy still. The docks are never truly quiet. People loading up for the night, people going into other taverns, other inns. You see a few scuffles along the way. Some of those refugees have, after all, got into the city, and the attitude to them is rather unpleasant. Most people are quite keen to kick them out on the streets, or if they have no money, just ignore them as they are just sort of huddling in corners trying to find somewhere to rest. It's strange, Lofar. Baldur's Gate is not a friendly place at the best of times, but something about this is worse than normal. You're not quite sure if you could put your finger on it, but people of the Low City aren't all unpleasant people. Most of them just stick to their crews, their organizations, and do the best they can. This cruelty you're seeing, even for you, it's a bit unusual. And yet it's strange because a little voice in the back of your head, just a tiny little voice, says, why not? These people are worthless. They are meaningless. It is good to ignore them. You should too. You have other things to be concerned about.
I do indeed. But if I see people here who have been kicked out, I mean, is there a lot of them, or is it a relatively manageable group of people?
There's a lot. Again, you don't know how many refugees got in, but you do know that you think they were pouring in at least a day or two before this gate closure. There must be quite a few people, and again, the city seems uneased. There are normally more Flaming Fist patrols on the docks. The fact that there aren't does suggest their numbers are being spread out, probably to secure those gates, which normally they wouldn't need to be securing so much. In times of peace, anyway.
Well, seeing this, it weighs on my conscience. I'm not really okay with all this, even though that voice is there. I cannot just stand idly by. So, just to ease my own conscience, I will move up to one smaller group of refugees, not a large one, and I will take out some of the coins that I've gotten, maybe 20 gold in total, and I will hand it over to them, and I will tell them, God's blessings be upon you in this difficult time. Go find yourself some place to stay. I hope that this gold will help.
A woman takes this coin from you. You see some children by her side. They are wearing fine clothing, but it's been muddied and dirtied by travel on the road. Thank you. We might be able to get into the inn. Thank you, sir. We were thinking no one in this city had even a heart, but thank you for this one act of kindness. Royce and Larissa, both of you have a little voice as well. Lofar is being foolish, giving money away to these people. They'll probably just be robbed, Larissa, you think, in seconds, and Royce, maybe you just think it's a waste of time. But it's weird because, again, are those your thoughts? You're not sure.
I think Larissa, to some degree, would genuinely think that perhaps it's not the best idea because of, she saw what it was like walking back through towards the Flaming Fist and the people waiting on the corners. The people of Baldur's Gate know the city well and where they can go and where they can't go, and these people who are coming in are almost like her. She's not sure where she can step safely, but she can protect herself. That woman with her children might not be able to. But she understands the sentiment, and there's no part of her that doesn't think these people shouldn't have that gold, but it's more the concern of it was handed in the street. It wasn't in the inside of a tavern where it's safer, or at the front desk of an inn where they could go straight upstairs. And I think it for her, really, her true thoughts come from a place of concern that they'll walk down the road and have it taken off them again.
And Royce, your thoughts?
I feel I would have given money to beggars like this and always questioned, is it the right thing to do? Will they just drink it? Will they be robbed? Will it be spent on some other vices rather than the kids or family they have begging with them? Never have I questioned it in such a callous way that it's a waste on these people, as the voice in my head seemed to suggest at that point. So it's not unlike thoughts I've had, but it seemed so cold, and I'm wondering, has the day that's in it, that cults and El Terrell disappearing, somehow numbed me?
Yes, all three of you, even you, Lofar, strange doubt as soon as you did that act. But the moment does pass, and you all feel yourselves again. Maybe you think you are just getting stressed, but it is strange that you all had these moments of these thoughts.
So the particular couple that I did give that money to, I mean, they are supposed to head to the inn, yes? So why don't I lead you over there? The streets are dangerous. I mean, I know the fact that the streets are dangerous, so Lothar wouldn't... He would understand the risks of what he's doing.
Yes, we shall say you do just take a moment to escort them to the nearest establishment you can see, and they are let in. The owner frowns, looks in your direction, spits on the ground as they offer the money, and sort of begrudgingly takes them in. Just as they are entered, he looks at you three and goes, "I've barely got the room for them, so many bloody refugees. Why do they have to trouble us?"
Open your heart, sir. This could be you. This could be you in Alterel, if the roles were reversed.
Well, it ain't. I don't know what business is of yours, Gonsman. And he slams the door in your face.
I shake my head. But I do feel some doubt. But no, this was the right thing to do. I tell myself as we keep moving.
You then all make your way into the Brampton district, one of the poorer districts of the lower city, but still better off than the outer city districts. Making your way down the docks, you find yourself in front of what Lofar tells you is the Low Lantern. Fog obscures the Low Lantern until you get within 100 feet of it, whereupon its tall masts and creaking bulk come into view. The converted ship has rigging but no sails, and is anchored to the wharf by thick chains. You see a wooden staircase climbing from the wharf's edge to the main deck. A lantern at the bow casts an eerie green light, signifying the tavern is still open for business. You do know, Lofar, that even though the hour is late, the Low Lantern is often open all the way till dawn. So, while it might not be too busy now, it is at least still open.
They're still open for business, so let us make our way in and see what we can find out, and also arrange rooms.
The question is, do we want to make it known that we're looking for this individual, or are we hoping to find them by chance?
Well, perhaps you are skilled at such things. Maybe we can see if we can overhear something in there. I am definitely not going to do what we did in the elf song. That would be way too obvious, I think.
We could just get a drink, sit down for a bit, and I can have a wander and see what I can find.
Sounds like a plan. I mean, I don't know if we go straight in asking questions about, hey, Amric, this deck cult guy seems interesting. I mean, maybe we ask about, El Terrell, rumours of the Duke. Say, clearly, Larissa and myself are out of town. We can ask, the local gossip and see if anyone has any rumours, sensationalist story, conspiracy theories that may not be so crazy or as crazy as they think.
Perhaps we mention that there were reports of an explosion somewhere in the city. See who seems interested in that.
Sounds like a plan to me. Well, shall we?
The door isn't quite accessible just yet. You have to climb on board first. As you do, you find yourself on the main deck of this old ship, which has wooden steps that climb to the forecastle and aftercastle, and another set of stairs descending into the ship proper. There's a padlocked wooden hatch fitted with windows, acting as a skylight for the deck below the tavern proper, visible through the hatch's glass panes, so you can kind of see as you're coming in, sort of below you, the tavern floor of this establishment. You also notice a bunch of dead seagulls, sort of scattered all over the place. There's at least 4 right nearby. And as you, Royce, look around, you see 2 ravens, a little crow's nest, sort of squawking at you as you approach. And yes, you're standing on this deck with these dead seagulls, and these stairs lead down to the tavern proper.
This is an ill omen. I will utilize my divine sense to detect good and evil and see if there's any celestials, fiends, undead within 60 feet.
You do so, and your attention is drawn to the 2 ravens. The ravens sort of cock their heads as they look at you, looking at them, and you sense evil. Those ravens, there's something about them.
I narrow my eyes and I just nod towards them and sort of try to get my companions to notice. Those are no ordinary ravens. There's evil there. More than meets the eye.
Would you like us to do something about it?
No, I think that would be a great way to make ourselves very noticed. But it is good to know that we're walking into a place that is under watch by, well, something.
As we head down, I want to have a look if we can pass one of those seagulls. Can I tell what killed it? Does it look like it's got, like, bits hacked out of it from the ravens, or does it look like they've just dropped dead?
You peer down to have a look at one of these seagulls. Please roll me a wisdom check, a medicine check even.
4.
You kneel down and you sort of poke at this dead seagull. It does look like it has been attacked. It definitely looks like it's been attacked, but you can't quite tell how. Maybe it's been clawed, maybe it's been sworded, maybe someone just threw a rock at it. You can see some signs of injury, but you aren't quite sure of the reasons. It's not in the best of shape anymore. It's probably been rotting for a few days.
She's poking at it with, like, one of her daggers. And then when she can't figure out what it is, she kind of wipes the dagger off on, like, the outside of her cloak, resheaths it, and just will kind of look back at everyone and go, I really need a drink.
And so, all 3 of you descend to the noise and clamour from below of this ship-based tavern, as the mists close in around you outside, and those 2 ravens just sort of carefully eye that entrance.
You have listened to an episode of Red Moon Roleplaying, where we played the campaign Baldur's Gate Descent into Avernus for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. We were joined by Virginia Page, who is Tabletop Horde on Twitter, and Owen Fáilbhe from the How We Roll podcast. We would like to extend our thanks to our friends at Wizards of the Coast for all their support in getting us the material early and for helping more people discover the show. The music was made by Halgrath, Aegis Sonus, Atrium Carceri and Herbst9 and was used with permission from their label Cryochamber. Check out their website at cryochamber.bandcamp.com or their YouTube channel for some moody dark ambient. We also used the soundtrack to Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 by Michael Honig and to Planescape Torment by Mark Morgan, and permission for this was given by the awesome people at Beamdog. Check out the enhanced editions of those classic games for some of the best D&D adventures ever created. If you want to support our work, please check us out on Patreon. You can get access to bonus campaigns for Cult, Divinity Lost, and Coriolis there, as well as get early and raw access to all of our recordings. More importantly, that support is what keeps the show going, so please do consider becoming one of our beloved Patreons. Thank you again for listening, and see you soon again.